The tennis world halted when Rafael Nadal took up a racket again a year after his heartbreaking retirement. The 22-time Grand Slam champion returned to the court at his academy in Mallorca after declaring he would never compete professionally again. His companion of choice? Alex Eala, a 20-year-old Filipina who had trained under his tutelage since she was 13 years old, was neither a Spanish prodigy nor a compatriot icon. Millions of people saw the video of their practice sessions in a few hours as it went viral. The moment Nadal, the ferocious competitor who never displayed weakness, couldn't stop laughing, however, was what really shocked everyone. Even his fiercest opponents had failed to do what Eala had. In the middle of a rally, she caused the King of Clay to smile. Aryna Sabalenka was observing from across the Atlantic. After years of attempting to impress Nadal, the world number one could only shake her head in shock. The world had discovered the connection between the Filipina phenomenon and the Spanish legend. And what Sabalenka was witnessing was unbelievable. November 19, 2025. Spain's Mallorca. Rafael Nadal played his final professional match at the Davis Cup Finals in Malaga, exactly 365 days ago. It was an emotional farewell that moved millions of people worldwide to tears. The 22-time Grand Slam champion has not used a racket for a whole year. He hadn't set foot on a tennis court. His family, his foundation, and the academy bearing his name had been his priorities. However, something changed on this particular day. At the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Nadal bandaged his fingers, put on his shoes, and entered the indoor clay court. It wasn't a competition. It wasn't a return. It was an homage to the young athletes who would continue his legacy, the sport he loved, and the academy he founded. Alex Eala was waiting for him on the other side of the internet. The 20-year-old Filipina, who arrived as a timid adolescent from Manila with a dream and a racket, had been a student at the academy since she was 13. Although she graduated in 2023, the institution continued to be her home. And it would be her first time sharing the court with her guru on this day. Eala would later say, "It was so special for me." It goes without saying that people and young children can only imagine training with Rafa. Sharing the court with him was such a pleasure. Nadal posted a video of the workout on social media. He remarked that it was wonderful to be back on a tennis court a year later. "Alex, it was a pleasure to practice with you. I'll be stronger the next time." In a matter of hours, the video went viral. With perfect rhythm and sincere smiles, the two left-handers traded consistent baseline rallies in front of millions of fans. Few people had ever witnessed Nadal's laid-back, happy, and almost playful side. There were many remarkable moments during the practice session, but one was particularly noteworthy. Eala's sharply slanted forehand earned a point midway into a rally, leaving Nadal reeling. The 22-time Grand Slam champion was utterly taken aback by the Filipina's playful celebration, which included running forward while raising her arms. Nadal's response was well caught. He flung back his head and laughed, a sincere, uninhibited chuckle that appeared to put years of rivalry behind him. The King of Clay, whose career had been founded on concentration and intensity, was enjoying himself. Millions of people shared the video on social media. Commenting on the unexpected occasion, fans from all around the world marveled at the two left-handers' relationship. One fan said, "This is the Rafa we never get to see. Just a legend having fun with a young tennis kid he thinks has potential," another said. Eala made Nadal laugh. That's a win in and of itself. Nadal's prominence made the moment especially memorable. He was renowned for his unrelenting intensity throughout his career. The vamos yells, the fist pumps, the unrelenting concentration. It was a rare gift to watch him chuckle in the middle of the rally. It was a moment of validation for Eala. She had spent years training at the academy, learning not only tennis technique but also the discipline and mindset that had elevated Rafael Nadal to legendary status. She will always remember having a true moment of happiness with her mentor. The practice session was the result of a connection that had been developing for almost 10 years. It was not a one-time occurrence. Eala, a 13-year-old scholarship student from the Philippines who knew no one and spoke little Spanish, first came to the Rafa Nadal Academy in 2018. She absorbed the mindset and work ethic that had made Nadal a legend while training with other talented kids. Nadal became aware of this over time. He observed her development, encouraged her, and acknowledged her successes. Nadal was present as she defeated 3 Grand Slam champions, including Iga Swiatek, to make her incredible run to the Miami Open semifinals in 2025. On social media, he expressed his support by stating, "We are incredibly proud of you, Alex. What a fantastic competition. Let's continue to dream." Nadal returned when she won her maiden WTA title in Guadalajara. He wrote, "Congratulations at Alex Eala 05 on your first at WTA. What you are accomplishing for the Philippines and for yourself makes me pleased and proud. There is more to their relationship than just tennis." Eala has spoken openly about Nadal's humility, his groundedness, his willingness to help others despite his immense success. Eala once remarked, "He is so grounded and he has accomplished more than anything I could dream of. It is so amazing of him to continue be so kind to everyone around here." Nadal gave Eala specific game-related tips throughout the practice session. Eala said, "He gave me some forehand tips and a few other small advice. Only a champion of Nadal's caliber could offer such subtle yet important advice." The event was hailed by the Academy as a genuinely exceptional day. The Academy's Instagram site said, "It's amazing to see him back on court, sharing his passion and knowledge." The session was a complete circle for Eala. As a wide-eyed adolescent pursuing a goal, she had arrived at the Academy. She was now the first Filipina to break into the top 50 in WTA history, sharing the court with her mentor as a seasoned professional rated 50th in the world. Aryna Sabalenka, a tennis player, watched with a mix of amazement and incredulity as the tennis community rejoiced over Nadal-Eala's moment. The top player in the world has been candid about how much she admires Nadal. She acknowledged that she was anxious to play in front of him at the Australian Open earlier this year in an attempt to win him over. She admitted, "During the entire match, I was just telling myself, do not look there. Please do not look." Her face changed from champion to fan as she approached Nadal after the game and requested a selfie. "Yes, folks. I'm a tremendous fan. Would you mind if I took a picture with you?" she inquired. However, Nadal's focus has always been on Eala. He has seen her develop into a worldwide star from a young prospect. On the anniversary of his retirement, he joined her on the court, praised her successes, and stood up for her against detractors. Despite winning 4 Grand Slam championships and dominating the world rankings, Sabalenka has never been acknowledged to that extent by the legendary Spanish player. The Belarusian has noticed the difference. Sabalenka reportedly expressed surprise and jealousy when the video of the Nadal-Eala practice session went viral. Sources close to the athlete said that she was shocked that Nadal had decided to return to the court with Eala instead of a fellow champion. In moments of frustration, Sabalenka has commented, "I've done everything. Even though I've been ranked number 1 and won Grand Slams, I see flags for someone else when I look at the stands. I hear someone else's chants." Even the world number 1 has been shaken by the Eala effect, which is characterized by crowded stadiums, overloaded ticket systems, and unparalleled fan loyalty. She is now much more frustrated because of the Nadal-Eala relationship. There was more to Rafael Nadal and Alex Eala's practice session than what went viral. The torch was being passed. Nadal has been the standard bearer of left-handed tennis for the entirety of his career. An era has been defined by his strong topspin, unwavering defense, and never-say-die mentality. However, he sees a player who possesses those same traits in Eala. The 20-year-old Filipina is left-handed as well. She also depends on tactical knowledge, patience, and defense. Regardless of the outcome, she also doesn't give up. According to an Academy insider, she possesses that fire. Rafa had the same fire at her age. That is not something you can teach. You have it from birth. That energy was evident throughout Eala's 2025 season. In just 1 year, she went from number 140 to number 50. In a single tournament, she triumphed over 3 Grand Slam winners. She made history by being the first Filipina to rank in the top 50. She now takes her mentor's lessons with her as she gets ready for the 2026 season. The Australian Open, the Miami Open, the clay swing, and ultimately Roland Garros. Eala added, "He gave me some forehand tips and some other small advice. I've never batted with him before, so it's just a memory that will last a lifetime." For Eala, the memories will endure forever. However, the tennis community will always remember Nadal laughing in the middle of a rally, and the king of clay taking pleasure in the sport he once mastered. Additionally, the picture of Nadal hugging Eala and the legend selecting the Filipina as his practice partner will serve as a reminder to Aryna Sabalenka that relationships are more important than ranking points in both tennis and life. 1 year after retiring, Rafael Nadal made a comeback to the tennis court, and the event went viral. The 22-time Grand Slam champion decided to tell Alex Eala, a 20-year-old Filipina who spent 7 years training at his academy, about his comeback. The video of their practice session revealed a rarely seen side of Nadal. One that was truly happy, playful, and laughing. Nadal couldn't stop giggling as Eala raised her arms to celebrate winning a point. They have a strong bond. Throughout her career, Nadal has stood by Eala, congratulating her on her first WTA win, her run at the Miami Open, and her remarkable ascent to the 50th spot in the world rankings. He gave her forehand instructions and other minor pointers during the exercise. Aryna Sabalenka watched in shock across the Atlantic. The top player in the world has spent years attempting to win Nadal over, but the Filipino wonder has always captured his interest. Even the global #1 has been shaken by the Eala effect, a phenomenon of crowded stadiums and unparalleled fan devotion. The practice session was a passing of the torch rather than just a moment that went viral. Nadal recognizes something unique in Eala, the same drive, tenacity, and perseverance that characterized his own career. Eala is getting ready for the Australian Open, the Miami Open, and Roland Garros in 2026. She takes her mentor's lessons with her. The tennis community is watching to see how far she can go. How do you feel about the practice session with Nadal Eala? Does Eala have an advantage over her rivals because of this bond? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Get daily WTA news, match analysis, and stories that go beyond the score by subscribing to Rally Radar. Because every day is match day at Rally Radar.